Hello everyone, and welcome to Mills and Reeves Mapping the Future Later Living Vlog series on New Year predictions for 2023. In this series, we'll be asking some of the key contributors in the later living sector to provide their predictions and insights for the coming year. I'm Emma Purton, Principal Associate in the Real Estate Investment Later Living team at Mills and Reeves, and I'm joined today by John Netherton, Group Land Director at Audley Group. John, thank you very much for joining me today to take part in our New Year's predictions. Before we go looking into the new year, I think we should also reflect on 2022 and the progress made, which turned out to be quite a turbulent year. What do you consider to be the key takeaways for the later living sector from 2022, which will contribute towards the continued growth in this coming year?
I think there was a increasing issues arising throughout 2022. On the one hand, we did see much more activity in the land market with new entrants bidding aggressively, in my view, for sites based on quite optimistic assumptions. Became we were hit with large build cost increases, which made many of those sites unviable to proceed. So many of them came back onto the market later on in the year. So on the planning side, we've seen much more dominance of NIMBYs in particular, and the politicians have been pandering to them. So that's made planning far more challenging. However, sales have been holding up. We achieved a good level of sales, and we continue to have a good level of sales in the Audley and the Mayfield products. Investor interest is patchy and very limited, but there are investors out there who are looking long term and thinking about acquiring sites or businesses now, whilst there's some good opportunities out there. So in summary, a very, very challenging year, but the long-term fundamentals are very compelling and get increasingly so.
Yeah, so we can both agree that it wasn't the smoothest of transition periods for the post-lockdown era that we anticipated, both in the sector and the wider economy, but actually have started to show some signs of stability in the market. The ARCO-sponsored Mayhew report was published, and a new planning consultation was launched by the Department for Levelling Up Housing and Communities, both in an attempt to raise awareness and address the need for future-proofing the retirement living in the UK. Taking these into account and your own experiences in the sector, what are your New Year predictions for later living in 2023?
I will see operator consolidation, largely because the costs of running these businesses are so high that only acquiring a small number of sites makes it difficult to make an operational profit. We'll see investors fall into two camps. Some will be sitting on their hands, waiting. Others will be more aggressive and seeing this as an opportunity to invest, thinking that they won't actually need to be selling the units for between 2 and 5 years, depending on how long it takes to get planning. We will see vendors on the land side having to accept lower prices, or probably more so seek alternative uses for their sites because they have come off significantly as a result of build costs. And I'm hoping that the sales will continue as they have started well this year for us across both Audley and Mayfield.
Great. There are really positive signs for improvement there and positive predictions for the year ahead. Staying with those predictions, if you had 3 aspirations for the sector in 2023, what would they be?
We need more government support or acknowledgement that this has multiple benefits to the UK. I think we are starting to see it through various reports that have been published and some of the noises coming out, but it is very small. But they do need to then filter down to the local authorities and the politicians locally to get their support. So that would be one. The government support will also help raise awareness among our customer base, and this is something for the future. I'm hoping we'll see, investors, many of whom are sitting on their hands at the moment, waiting to see what happens, start to come back into the market and see this as an opportunity to buy and invest for the medium to long term. and I'm hoping the purchasers of our properties will stay positive about acquiring, and we can offer them lots of opportunities for buying, be that an outright sale, shared ownership, rental, and various options on the management charges and exit fees.
Great. You touched on government help and further support there. What would be your request to government to help aid growth of the sector in 2023?
I think it's a lot of it's, I think, levelling up. They do a lot of support for house builders, through Help to Buy, and I realise that has come off, but there are likely to be other policies to try and keep the house building industry going and subsidise first-time buyers. But they do need to think about the last-time buyers and the benefits to the NHS, to social care budgets, to freeing up unoccupied or lowly occupied family housing. And so I'm hoping we'll see some support, whether that's through stamp duty measures, whether it's through making sure government land is sold into the care sector, or policies, planning policies do actively encourage this use.
Yes, some really key pointers for the government that they can pick up and help grow with the sector this coming year. So we've looked at past experiences from 2022, predictions for this year, and aspirations, and kind of embodying all of that and taking that all into account. How does that fit into Audley Group's vision for 2023?
I think Audley, we're probably looking at as a steady growth. We did hope to have a more dramatic growth, but investor interest has certainly reduced towards the end of last year. So we are opening we opened 2 new villages in 2022. We're opening 2 more in 2023. We've got 2 applications that are being heard this first quarter of the year, and hopefully there'll be further applications that will be going before committees towards the end of the year. And we've got a number of acquisitions, whether that's corporately, whether it's of sites with consent or subject to planning deals. So there's a good amount going on at the start of the year, not as much as we were hoping for this time last year, but it'll be hopefully steady growth, and we just need to keep those sales going to underpin it all.
That all sounds good. Thank you very much again for joining us today, John, to provide those predictions and insights into what's been happening in the sector and beyond. I wish you and Audley all the very best for the year ahead, and let's see where we've got to towards the end of the year.